Hi, nice to meet you.
Perfect. Pleasure to meet you too. Do you want to go by Beth or Bethlehem?
Either
Or
one.
either.
Beth is cool.
All
Yeah.
right.
But
Well,
maybe if you introduce as Bethlehem.
okay. Well, we're friends, so I'll introduce you as Bethlehem, and I'll just call you Beth throughout. So,
Okay, period. There we go.
perfect.
Done.
All right, so thanks so much for joining me today. I've got Bethlehem Million, the star of Trim Season, which is coming to theaters and on demand on June 7th, 2024. It is a plot-based horror film where the devil's lettuce might actually be the devil's lettuce. It has a really great setup, some really wonderful practical effects, and a great cast of characters led by Beth's character, Emma. It is definitely something that you're going to want to see if you're interested in horror or pot or both. So I'm very excited to talk to you, and thanks so much for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I'm curious, how did you get involved in this? And I do hope the story is that you were drinking with someone at a bar and then got kind of kidnapped into this weird situation that it turned out to be okay.
See, it's funny that you say that. Ariel was actually in a white van, and then just pulled up. No, I'm just kidding.
She's like,
Actually,
we're gonna make the next movie. Get your stuff
okay,
now.
anyways, you could just cut that. But yeah, no. No, I got the script first and I got to read it all the way through. And I had a lot of questions about it and things like that. So even before taping or anything, I got to have like a director's meeting with Ariel just to hear more about the project and stuff like that. And as we got to talking, I just feel like, Ariel is such a collaborative director and she's somebody who's so easy to talk to. And I think for me, it was about like what makes Emma at its core, and like if I was to play Emma, what I would bring. And I just wanted to be sure that that's something that made sense or resonated with or made sense to like how they wanted to tell the story. And for me, it was really important to like ground Emma's anxiety, honestly, in firstly the weight of adulthood and figuring out how to do that. Like, so then it's not just coming from nowhere, or it isn't caricaturized, but it comes from that. And then on top of that, the actual political and identity things that come into play whenever we are talking about the devil's lettuce and about like, what that is to be able to like go in the middle of the forest or whatever. And it's like the consequences that come for that are different for Emma looking the way that she is with the identities that she has than anybody else. And then in relation to that, the whole journey that she goes on all the way till the end and what that means for her to be able to like, reclaim some of that power that I feel like she never really ever let herself have, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
I imagine some of your questions were also like, what is this marijuana? I've never heard of this. I've never done this. Like,
No, I've never heard of that, Mom. Like I've
yeah.
literally never seen that in my
Yeah,
life.
I don't know. It's Hollywood special effects. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, Mom. They look like bonsai trees to me. I thought it was a bonsai. My
Yeah,
bad.
exactly. So yeah, you're out in the countryside trimming bonsais and learning about yourself. It's wonderful. So
Exactly.
how much research did you do in preparing for this role? Learning about pop culture and things like that. Was it a tough thing to learn about? Did you like go to a Fish concert? I know they're playing in like Vegas recently.
Honestly, I don't think it's only just fish at this point. Like, and but I listen to my fair share of rap music. I'm in the music industry, so she definitely circles that. It's definitely in the music industry. But I was just gonna say, like, I definitely had to do some research, in order to understand that. But also Emma is very like outside of just consuming it, she's somebody that is learning in real time what that is and like not really knowing what it is. But I definitely had to look into the whole like process of trim culture and what that means. But it was fun to be able to learn that alongside both the other cast members and also just doing some research. And I realized that like the whole thing, the idea of like these trimmers that like just go out into the middle of nowhere, and there are like actual real life stories about people, and especially in the Emerald Triangle, who end up going missing, and a lot of them are women. And so for that to be like grounded in reality, I feel like really helped me figure that all out. But we did our research.
Yeah. I totally expect it. You're a professional. You have to do your research.
Exactly.
But no, I loved it too because it's such a perfect setup for a horror movie. Like you always try to think of a reason for going out of the woods. Usually it's like, oh, let's have a fun camping trip. It's spring break. But this was like
Right.
a reason for them to go out into this isolated area, and it's relatable. Of
Yes.
course, who doesn't want to go out and work for and get like paid really well for a couple of weeks of work. But then like when you get out
Exactly.
there, you're like, okay, I can see how
You're
this
like,
turns into a very bad situation.
right. And even over time, and then you keep gaslighting yourself the whole way there. And I feel like that was really fun to play with. Like the whole idea of like I did like I think none of the characters really wanted it to be a thing where we just are like, oh, there's a scary door. Let's just walk into it. So it was really fun to be able to play against those tropes of like the stupid, you know what I mean, victim that like walks into the trap right away, but being able to like try to protect yourself as best as you can, but still having to do the things that you have to do in those moments and make those decisions. So it was definitely like really fun to explore that. And like I feel like I surprised myself a bunch of times just in the whole process and like having done the work on the scene and then being there and it feeling very different and grounded in something entirely different. So yeah.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And you haven't done a ton of horror in your past. This is arguably a horror movie. What was it like jumping into the genre? Was it fun? Was it something you were looking to get into, or did you just kind of like this story and just wanted to jump into whatever it was?
So actually my first movie ever that I did was Sick. That's on Paycock. That was Kevin Williamson horror movie. It was like the pandemic thriller. And so that was the first movie that I did. So I actually started in horror. But that one was like a very different like psychological
Mhm.
kind of thriller. Whereas like this one is just like a lot gorier and it just like the kills are insane in this. You know what I mean? Like they did not save anybody. But just in general, yeah, it was I love doing horror because I feel like it's such a heightened medium of art and it definitely takes a lot out of you just in general. But I feel like to be able to like feel that adrenaline in real time, I feel like is something that is like kind of addictive as an actor of that feeling. And I feel like it's some of those like heightened emotions that like in a lot of places you only get to feel in like theater. You know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
like to be able to like translate those emotions and all of those nuances of even just like something like fear, you know, there's so many textures behind it and so many reasons that feed into that. So it's just I always have like a really great fun like a really great time just being able to like tap into that adrenaline and to be able to like surprise yourself in real time just because of the pace of horror and how things go and stuff like that.
Yeah, and after that adrenaline hit, after to calm yourself down, if only there was something you could use to like
If
calm your
only.
nerves, make you
I know.
relax.
Maybe a glass of wine, who
Yeah,
knows?
someday. These bonsai trees look interesting. Let's go explore those.
Exactly.
So you did get to work with like some horror veterans, I guess. Even though you started horror, what was it like working with Jane and Alex? They're both kind of like prolific horror actors.
Oh
So what was it
yeah.
like working with them?
Oh, they're heavy hitters. Like honestly, it was so amazing to be able to share a screen with them. I mean, Jane, like the person that she played was just so frightening in so many like ways. It was giving like almost like what is it? Is it Matilda? Like, you know, like the headmistress like
Yeah,
kind of vibes. That
yeah.
was just like, oh my gosh, like what is that feeling like when you become an adult and then you still meet somebody like that? You know what I mean? And they have that same power, really. So it was really awesome to be able to like find those moments in real time with them. Me and Alex are super tight and they were just awesome. They ended up becoming like a big sister to me in a lot of ways. And I feel like we clicked like so quickly. I think they were the first person that I met when I arrived in Utah to start filming. And I just like, I feel like the chemistry that we immediately had just as friends, like I feel like just transcended into all of the different scenes that we were able to do and it was just really it was a lot of fun to be able to like be connected to somebody both on screen and off screen and to be able to like see that infused in all of the frames and all of those things. It always makes me cry even in some of the moments like we were texting each other because she was at the LA premiere and I'm gonna go to the New York one and I was like, oh my God, like look at us. Like we really did that shit, you know?
And
Yeah.
that chemistry is so important, especially in an indie film, because you just don't have time. Like you don't have a ton
Yeah.
of time to like get it. So if it's naturally there, it makes the film
Yeah.
better because you're just kind of like jumping right in.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
So I know we have a little bit of time. I know you have a busy day today, so I'm going to switch to the lightning round. They're just lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the movie. You can feel free to pass on any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable.
Okay, cool.
First question: have you ever worked on a farm?
No.
All right. Have you ever grown anything yourself, legal or not? You can choose to answer.
No, I can barely keep plants alive.
Okay. Awesome. So this was true acting here, like being able to
No,
cultivate.
truly, like really, yeah.
What is the strangest job that you've ever taken or done?
Huh. What is the strangest job? I mean, honestly, I was like a tour guide on campus. I don't know if that's like a strange job, but I just like showed people around campus. I feel like it's not really that strange,
I think it
but
depends on the campus, right? It could be strange
right,
for
I
you.
know, I know, I know. It was NYU, so like maybe not that
Okay.
strange. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably that.
There were probably some very strange people you met, so that must have been fun.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Have you ever gotten a job after like a night of drinking? Just like someone you met there, or someone you vibed with?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Well, keep going. Keep working
Who
that
knows?
system.
If anybody wants to give me a job while
Yeah.
I'm blackout, please text me in the morning.
And hopefully you'll like that job. We'll see what this.
Exactly, exactly.
Now that you have these skills from this movie and you have, a demo reel, do you think you might like go out to do trim season, make a couple $1,000s?
Oh, absolutely not. I do not play with that. Emma is different now. I am not about to put myself in that situation, but
Yeah,
to anybody who's doing it, go get your money, get your bag. I
that's fair.
respect it.
Yeah, I guess you've seen the consequences of what can happen, so that's
Exactly,
important.
exactly. So I'm like, let me fool me once.
Emma had some trouble with this. Are you paid up on your rent?
I am,
Excellent. You're
surprisingly
learning.
enough.
Yeah,
I'm on
perfect.
auto pay. Emma, you should have on auto pay.
Awesome. There was a scene in this movie where there was this elaborate dinner and wine and weed were served. If you had to choose wine or weed, what would you choose?
I would have to say wine. I'm a wine girl.
Classy. I love it.
Yeah, always. I'm classy. I know,
Yeah,
right?
okay, that makes sense. And
Oh,
this movie is about pot and weed. Do you have a favorite strain? And if so, what is the name? I just love hearing all the weird names of various pot strains.
I don't know enough, to be honest, but uh, I don't know, but I'm sure there's some funny names out there.
There are. I love it. It's just like it sounds like it could be a candy. It sounds like it could be like who knows.
I mean, I'm just gonna go from the classic like movie reference, like Pineapple Express. I'm sure there's probably so many different types.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
haven't seen it myself, but
Yeah. And the last most important question, this movie, Mona had a very specific strain of weed that only she smoked. Do you have a libation? It could be weed, could be something else that you specifically drink, like your favorite, your go-to.
ooh, um, probably Hennessy. I don't know if that's basic. Like, I just feel like once I got some Hennessy in my system, like I'm ready to go.
Hey, you know what you like, right? Why
I know
change
it's like
it?
my activation, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's like your body, like it's gasoline. It's
Exactly.
like
Like
ready to go.
Mona, like I'm activated at that point.
Popeye had spinach, Beth has Hennessy. It's basically the same thing.
Exactly, exactly.
So the movie is being released today, June 7th, 2024. You are out promoting the movie, getting the word out, letting people know about it. But after they see you in trim season, can they look for anything? Do you have anything next? Do you have anything on the horizon people can look for?
Not at the moment, but definitely keep an eye out. I feel like I'm very excited for trim season to come out. Got some music out as well on my own streaming platforms, but definitely check trim season out. So happy it's in theaters. It's gonna be a whole different, it's gonna be a movie. So go watch it. Yeah.
And take it upon yourself. Get some Hennessy in you. Go out tonight. Who
Exactly.
knows? Maybe the world is your oyster. Maybe there's a new job coming from some
Exactly. Pour
random
one out
bar.
for Emma in the process.
Yeah, there we go. So you can check out Trim Season today in theaters and on demand, and check out Beth's music coming to streaming. This is Beth Million, the star of the film. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was Bethlehem Million, the star of Trim Season, which is coming to theaters and on demand on June 7th, 2024. It is a pot-based horror movie where the devil's lettuce might actually be the devil's lettuce. It has a really great setup. It has some really wonderful practical effects and a host of interesting characters, including Bethlehem's character. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.